Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all the praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachak Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations. Much love and respect to you. I came out there pushing this word out in truth and sincerity. This lesson is going to be entitled, The Reason Why the Police Ask You for Your ID is Because You Are All Slaves. And this is something that would never happen if you were to go back to the 1800s, the early 1900s. These Edomites would never have accepted this, right? Edomites, these mainly Edomites, okay, because they were doing this kind of thing to Jake in actual chattel slavery. This practice actually goes back to the slave catchers. All right. And I'm going to play this video for you so you can see that the person that's actually in this video is actually a Moabite, or at least he looks like a Moabite. But, the point still remains. Esau is further every year, every few years. They're further. And right now at this point, it's every year. They're drawing you closer and closer to a digital slavery, the worst slavery that mankind has ever experienced. Okay, they're taking away your rights bit by bit, right? And right now we're at the point of they're taking it away chunk by chunk. Okay, so the Heavenly Father is bringing those curses upon the heathen as well, right? This is Isaiah 10:1. It says, "Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed." Right, because these laws that they have in place, they were already planning on putting these laws in place anyway. They just needed excuses. They needed particular cases to come up so that they can have that excuse of putting these things in place. But they always wanted to put these things in place from the beginning, because the elite's plan ultimately is to have 100% control. And that goes back to what? The microchip, right? See, all roads lead to the microchip, which IUIC refuses to mention, although they're mentioning the system that the microchip is centered in, is the center of, rather, is going to be the center of. What Great Millstone has been bringing out for ages. Now they're starting to bring it out a bit. But before, we were conspiracy theorists. So we were crazy nuts conspiracy theorists, right? Hey, I'm going to make a video on that as well, Lord willing, okay? On Bishop Nathaniel and his hypocrisy, and the IUIC and their hypocrisy, okay? It says, to turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless. Yeah, because these Edomites, especially these cops, they prey upon the vulnerable. They don't do these kind of things in Beverly Hills to these rich Edomites like that. You may have a couple instances, but generally speaking, they're mostly doing this to Jakes or lower to middle class Edomites and other nations, not just Edomites, but other nations as well. Okay, they're not doing this to them top level Edomites that are living in those top neighborhoods, man. Greenwich Village and things like that. Okay, it's not so common, right? Unless they see a Jake over there. If they see a Jake, a so-called black man, then they'll harass him. What are you doing over here? What are you doing over here? And I showed a video about that, which shows you that this is slavery. This is slavery. But now it's slavery, not just for Jake. It's slavery also for these other nations. Okay, which the Lord is going to bring those curses and put them on these other nations as well anyway. Let me get Deuteronomy 30:7 for a second. This is Deuteronomy 30:7. And it reads, "And Yahweh thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee." Right? So these things that Jake have been going through, the Lord is going to put these things on our enemies, and ultimately that's going to be fulfilled in the kingdom, right? Like the subsidies that these farmers were getting that Trump is taking away. that's been taken away from those black farmers for the longest time, and they had to deal with it. Right? That's the information that's coming out. But now these white farmers, they're crying, I don't know how I'm going to survive. And this, but Jake has been going through that and been surviving. Okay? So now those curses are hitting you. All right? So let's play this video.
It's not, because you're required.
You turn your car off, you sit in the back seat.
And this is my boy, the civil rights lawyer. He's always exposing these goddamn pigs, man.
In your car. All of a sudden, there's a terrible thunderstorm. It's early in the morning. You're on a busy road, so you pull into a gas station to wait out the storm. You turn your car off, you sit in the back seat, and you read a book as it storms for like an hour and a half. But unbeknownst to you, the cashier inside that gas station is apparently afraid of the fact that you've been parked there for 1.5 hours, so she calls the cops. You answer their questions, but they want to obtain your ID because they think that you might have warrants. And they want to search their databases for your information. But you know that you've done nothing wrong. Freedom is scary. Just because some lady in Murphy's gas station is afraid, that does not limit our rights.
I'm just trying to protect my constitutional rights. Okay? And I understand that, but us asking you to identify yourself isn't a violation of your constitutional rights. It's not, because you're required to identify yourself while we're investigating the nature of the call.
As both a content creator and let's get back to the video, called Sky Full of Elephants by Sibo Campbell. This is the actual gas station that he stopped at, Murphy USA gas station in Athens, Georgia, along this busy highway right across the street.
And you know that had to be a Karen, an Edomite Karen, because why the hell would you call the police because someone's parked in the parking lot? I don't care how long he's parked in there. Who cares? Why would you call the police for something like that? If you're worried about if he's okay, why don't you just go and check to see if he's okay? You just call the police. You see these fucking devils too, man. They're gonna pay, man. Okay, which it's a Moabite, but I don't. It's the mindset behind it. Like they're just a bunch of demons, man. Why would you call the police for something like this? I never seen that before. I never seen somebody call the police for a reason like that.
From a Walmart, John was interrupted by a knock on his car door by police officers who just had to have that crack. They had to have that ID.
I'm just stopping for just stopping. Is that okay?
Yeah, there's people that are concerned because you've been out here for a couple hours. They want to make sure you're okay.
Okay.
You got some ID on you?
Yeah, I do, but I can move if you want.
You don't. I'm not saying you have to.
I'm just resting.
I know. I'm not accusing you of anything. They want us to check on you. I just want to know who I'm talking to. That's all.
I'm just passing through, sir.
Okay. I need your ID.
Did I commit a crime?
You're loitering.
If I'm trespassing...
Yes, you are, because you've been here for hours. Okay. I need your ID, sir.
They accused John of being parked there for too long and trespassing, but when he offered to leave, they told him not to leave, that he couldn't leave, that he was being detained, and they needed his ID.
Which that's what they used to do to the slaves. Well, not even the slaves. Jake after post-slavery, actually, they would do that to Jake. They want to find a reason to lock Jake up because, according to, I don't remember which amendment it is. I think it's the 13th Amendment. The 13th Amendment, that slavery is not permissible except if someone commits a crime. So their whole thing, these Edomites thing, was to get Jake to lock up Jake so that they could put them back in slavery, right? So they created a law called loitering, which means if you stand in a place for a particular too long, that's a crime, which is complete madness. It's complete madness, man. You stand in a particular place too long, that's considered loitering. Right? So this is the type of shit that Esau has in the books. And it's things that they can use whenever they want to use it. When you have a law that can be exacted just because, depending on how the person is feeling that day, that's not right. Okay? And this proves that you're not free, because these cops, if they're having a bad day, or if they just want to, they just like to mess with people, that's what they'll do. All right? And put you in a very bad situation. Okay?
John refused to give his ID because he believed that he had done nothing wrong. There was no allegation that he had even committed any crime.
Are you gonna arrest me?
Do I need to?
I don't know. I didn't.
Okay, you need to identify yourself. Please provide me your identification.
Yeah, you slave.
Officer, if I committed a crime,
yes, it's called trespassing and loitering.
Yeah.
That's a crime.
Right. You did commit a crime.
I don't believe I've been trespassing.
Okay, it doesn't matter what you believe.
Yeah.
You need to provide your ID.
All I was doing,
This is
officer,
the
was
slave
reading
catcher.
I need your ID.
I mean, you're gonna arrest me because
If you don't provide your ID, I will.
See?
just for parking my car?
For trespassing and loitering.
These cops are a bunch of devils. They're a bunch of fucking devils. They have a hard on, and this is why I get on these demons, because they got a hard on for just oppressing people. It's like what do you know what I mean? What do you like? You know what I'm saying? Why do you need to? Okay, the guy's sitting in his car. He's taking a rest because of the rain. He's not committing no crime. He's okay. What's the problem? Move on. But no, they're set up. They're agents of oppression. Anyways, this is what's happening to a Moabite, right? So, you know, you Jakes have been going through these type of things for the longest time, right? Because like we told you, Jakes, you're not free in this place.